All right, so now we're going to get into the remainder of the lower abdominal series progressions. You've got your blood pressure cuff together, you've done lower abdominal 1 and you've gotten good at it. Now all we're going to do is just progress into the rest of the lower abdominal exercises. And so for each of these, you don't want to move on to the next progression until you've become competent at the previous progression. So once you've done 3 minutes of lower abdominal 1, you can then move on to 2A, and you'll train 2A until you're able to complete about 2 sets of 20 reps per side and keep the needle in your neutral plus 30 range, a plus or minus 5 window. Once you can, so for in my previous video, mine was 110. My neutral plus 30 was 110. I'm trying to keep it in between 115 and 105 the entire time I'm doing my exercises. So whatever your neutral plus 30 is, you want to be able to complete each exercise doing 2 sets of 20 reps per side, or if you're doing both legs together, doing 20 reps while maintaining that neutral plus 30 within a plus or minus 5 window. Once you are able to do that consistently, so when I'm able to do that 2 sets of 20 per leg on lower abdominal 2A, and I can do that pretty much every time I do it and keep the needle square, I can then, I feel confident enough that I can move on to the next one. So I'll show you all the exercises in series. I'm not going to be using the cuff. I'm just going to show you what the exercises look like. Nothing should change from doing your lower abdominal 1 setup wise. Nothing should change with the mechanics wise. All I'm doing is just showing you what the progressions are for each of my legs. So we'll start with 2A and then we'll move up, and then you can come back to this video. You can start with your 2A, get that mastered, and then you can come back to this video, watch 2B, and then each one that you do, you can come back to this video and pick up the next progression. And once you get to a certain point, you'll kind of get the gist of it. You'll start developing some strength, and you can start kind of mixing and matching each of these depending on what you feel like you need, and you can also get really creative. So I'll put my cuff aside and I'll show you guys some of the progressions here. So I'll just use my hand as my cuff, just as a general feedback mechanism. So we got our lower abdominal 1, so activated, everything's stable. Lower abdominal 2A is going to be from the floor. So this is the next progression after lower abdominal 1. Just from the floor straight up to 90 degrees, 90, and then back down, touch, come back up, back down. When you've mastered that one, so again, 2 sets of 20 each side, keeping your needle stable, you can do that consistently. Move on to 2A alternating. So that's just going to be boom, 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 boom. Once you've gotten competent at that, you can then move on to 2B, keeping everything else the same. Now the legs are up, drop down and touch, drop down and touch. Again, one side at a time first, and then once you've gotten good at doing one side at a time, you can do 2B alternating. Touch, 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 touch. Then the next progression would be 3A. So we're going to back on the floor, and then we're just going to do both legs at the same time, up to 90, back down, up to 90, back down. Then you can move on to 3B, start from the top, both legs at the same time, back down, both legs at the same time, back down. From here, you can get creative. You can do, you can really do a number of different things. So you can go From here you can do straight leg. I kind of have tight hamstrings. I'm working around my heavy bag. But straight leg, 3B. You can also go, you can also get creative with it and do different hip movements. So I'm staying stable here, and I'm going to go down, up and around, down, up and around. Then I can even reverse that. So I'm going to go around, down, and then up, around, down, and then up, and then I can alternate that. So I can do, oh, got my heavy bag in the way. So I'll just do my circles, and then circles. And then you can just alternate that. You can do butterfly kicks. So you can do like, you can do one leg up, one leg up, one leg up, one leg up. So that's kind of your flutter kicks that you see a lot of people do. You can also do like scissor kicks. So I need to shift up a little bit for this one. Leg straight. And then you're going to go wide and cross, wide and cross. You can do that at various levels. So you can bring your legs up a little bit higher, wide, cross. You can mix, again, you can mix it up. You can cross, touch, cross, touch, just as a general rule of thumb. So a lot of different variations you can do. More or less the exercise still remains the same. You want to maintain that neutral curve, neutral plus 30, keep it in that range. Again, once you can do, approximately, 20 reps a side and keep that pressure on. Depending on your training goals, the variables that you'll need to meet to master it are going to be a little bit different. But as a general rule of thumb, as long as you can maintain that stability, the cuff is going to tell you the feedback, and the cuff will tell you if you're slipping or not. So if the pressure is lowering, there's a good chance you're extending off and you're using too much of your hip flexor. If the pressure is raising, there's a good chance you're using too much of your lower abdominals and you're actually flattening your back. So the cuff will always tell you where your lumbar spine's at. So as long as you're maintaining the pressure on the cuff, basically the mechanics around it just get more and more complicated as you build up. So start with those first ones that I showed you. So the 2A alternating, 2B alternating, 3A, 3B. And then from there, you can start to get creative based on what you need for your, at that point, you're already pretty conditioned enough to where you can get creative for whatever your sports environment may be. So, a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, they're on their back, they're using their hips in various different ways. So you may need to work certain guard retention drills while maintaining good lumbar curvature. You may be somebody who's like a sprinter, so they need, more extension. There are exercises, lower abdominal exercises that you can use with the cuff in standing. That's probably for a different day for me to go over those, but you can do them in standing. So there's a lot of different things that you can utilize the blood pressure cuff and this lower abdominal series principle with. So start with those progressions I shared, work your way up, and then start to get creative. However, if you can't complete, 2 sets of 20 reps per side on some of those basic starting ones, so the 2A all the way through 3B, if you can't complete, that without the needle moving, drop yourself back down and just really get each progression down until you can complete 3B with hardly any wavering. Might take a little bit of time, but the time is worth it. So you got everything you need. This is a wonderful exercise for the low back and hips, and it'll work wonders for you. So hopefully that was helpful. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop a comment below, or reach out to me on my website at odysseyholistic.com, and I'll be happy to help you out there as well. So Have a good rest of your day. Take care.